And you know, when I talk like this, sometimes it becomes so unfathomable. It sounds like science fiction. People click off the switch, they tune out. And it shouldn't be that way. You need to address those issues. And that's the reason why I think that wealth management is the right model for people today. I mean that not just because I've developed that model myself. We've been this way for the last 5 or 6 years, but because I truly believe in it. It needs to be that way. By the way, my mother, who is no longer with us, she died last year at 87, she did get long-term care insurance when the getting was good. It's much more difficult today to get long-term care insurance. We did some advanced planning. She lived 5.5 years at a Sunrise assisted living facility in Cohasset. And it's a very nice place. I don't know if you've been to that particular place. I think there's one in Braintree, one in Plymouth, and they're all around the country. It was more of a home atmosphere. It was a wonderful place, and I felt secure that those people actually cared for my mother. I couldn't care for her any longer. My 2 brothers and myself tried to. We couldn't. With Alzheimer's, it was really tough. It got to the point where I was her husband at various times. I was her brother at other times. Other times she was just really angry and we didn't know why. It was just too difficult to do. So these are, apart from the financial issues, these are just things that you need to address. You need to have an adult conversation with someone about it. How are you prepared for that kind of ordeal if it should happen? But there's one thing for sure, we're all going to die, we know that. We don't know if we're all going to endure a long-term illness. Hopefully we won't. But the statistics are not in our favor. We're living longer, and as we live longer, it does not necessarily mean that we're having the quality of life that we want through the end of our days. There's usually quite a bit of challenges in the last few years of your lives. And that burden falls upon your spouse or your loved ones to be able to care for you. It costs money, and more importantly, there's a great deal of human cost to it. Being a caregiver, I know what it really did to me to see my mother in that state for such a protracted period of time. So you need to prepare, and you need to know that at least that your loved ones are cared for. You don't want to impoverish them because you had an illness, and that happens quite a bit.